So let's see if we can finish off the last example, example 2D on page 2. Okay? So here we go. I see this question here. It says 9 bracket x squared minus 7 all squared, or 8x minus 7 all squared. Take away 4x minus 9 all squared. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you see? What kind of question is this when you do factoring? It's something minus something. Hint, hint, hint. We just did something like that? Yeah, it's that difference of squares once again. Okay. So whenever you see that there are two terms with a minus sign, hint, 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 it's a difference of squares. Okay. Difference of squares once again. A squared minus b squared equals to a plus b, a minus b. Okay? Now, here's the dilemma or the hard part about this one. What is A and what is B? You have to find those out.
A is 8 over 9.
Well, what's the square root of 9 if you think about it? 3. Good. So the first thing for A is 3. And then you want to take the square root of the 8x minus 7 all squared. Well, that just gives us an 8x minus 7. Can we see that?
Oh, yeah, because it's square root.
Because it's square root.
Dangerous.
All right, now see if you do the same thing for part B. What? But not part B. The other part. Okay, something else is squared. So what's B in this case? 4x minus 9. Excellent. So if you've identified all those three things, then hey, life is pretty good.
Is it?
Okay. Is it? Because now you can just plug it into this lovely formula we have here. Remember, the difference of squares is just a plus b, a minus b. So therefore we have now a, which is 3 bracket 8x minus 7, plus b, which is just 4x minus 9. And I'll put it in a bracket right now so you can see. Okay, so by the way, that's your a plus b. Okay. And then you have also your a minus b, so as your a, once again, 3 bracket 8x minus 7, minus b, so bracket 4x minus 9. Okay, once again, this is your a minus b. And this equals to 0. I'll give you a chance to copy this. Okay. Now, once you've done this, my suggestion to you is let's see if we can simplify inside those brackets. Okay, simplify to make this look nice, because right now this looks really messy. So may I suggest you simplify now? What's 3 times 8? That's 24x. What's 3 times negative 7? That's negative 21. Okay, we got this plus 4x plus 9, so that's fine. I'll leave that as is, 4x minus 9. Okay, and then do the same thing with the other bracket here, please. I'll distribute this out. 3 times 8 is 24, so 24x. 3 times negative 7 is negative 21. And the next part is tricky. You see this minus sign here? It applies to every single term inside that second bracket. So what's the minus of 4x? That's negative 4x, thank you. And then positive 9. Negative times negative is positive 9. Good. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. Let's simplify even further because there's still too many things inside these brackets. First bracket here, 24x and a 4x. How many x's in total? 28. Okay, so 28x. And then you have your negative 21 minus 9. That gives us negative 30, I heard. Okay.
How'd you get 28x?
24 plus 4x.
24 plus 4. Right?
Oh, okay, sure.
Okay, and then how about the next one here, please? The next bracket, that's 24x minus 4x, which is just 20x. And then negative 21 plus 9 gives us, is it negative 12?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is still not in fully factored form. There's more factoring you can do. Can you spot where you can take out more stuff? If you look at the first bracket here, what's the common factor between 28 and 30?
2.
2. Yes. So let's factor out the 2. So when we do that, we get what? 28 divided by 2 is 14, so that's 14x. And then 30 divided by 2 is 15, so that's minus 15. Thank you. Can we do the same thing with the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, what can I factor out from there?
4.
4. Beautiful. And what's left over? 5x. And then minus 3 equals to 0. Now, if you want to make this look a little bit nicer, I'm going to ask you to do one last thing. What's 2 times 4? 8. So I'll write it like this. 8, okay, bracket 14x minus 15. Okay, and you got 5x minus 3. And now you've completely factored this properly.
So did you
Yay.
just take the 2 outside exponents and then times it together?
Yeah. Okay, but you're still not done.
I'm out of space.
Are we not?
Because you had to solve for x, right? This one says solve for x, so now you got to make each of the brackets equal to 0. Oh my. So much work. You're right. You're in grade 11. That means you have to do lots of work.
11 is a big number.
Yes, so is 12. Okay, so go ahead here and solve, please. So 14x minus 15 equals 0. You bring the negative 15 to the other side. You solve by dividing both sides by 14. And don't be afraid when your answers are fractions, okay? Most things in life are not nice and round. They're weird, ugly numbers. Same thing with this one then, 5x minus 3. Go ahead and please solve that. 5x equals to 3. X equals to 3 over 5.
And we're done.
And now we're done. All right, we've got this water slide problem here. Listen up. So you had a water slide. So if you think about a water slide, this is what usually happens. You're up top on a hill or something, and then you slide down. Ooh, you slide down, okay? And then you hope this is water, because if it's not water, you're in trouble.
That looks like a suicide attempt.
Okay? All right, now, here's what the question is saying to you, okay? You've got this path of the slider leaving the lower end of the slide can be approximated by this function. So what I'm saying to you is that h, the height, the vertical height, above the surface of the pool, and d is the horizontal distance you traveled. Okay, so if you want to take a look, this is what I mean. This is h, and this is d. Okay?
Where are his arms?
He has no arms.
He's sliding face first.
Okay? Marie. Marie. Okay, listen up. So, what I'm asking you to do here is I want you to tell me, it says, what is the horizontal distance the slider travels? So what is d before dropping into the pool, before h equals to 0? So when you drop into the pool, your height actually becomes 0. Okay, so I want you to understand this. Before dropping into the pool means that h equals to 0. So therefore, if you want to figure out what equation you're trying to solve, you're going to use this equation and going to make h of d equal to 0. And we're just going to try to solve now for d. Okay? That's what we're trying to do.
Can you plug this in the calculator?
No.
You're
Now,
gonna show us next year.
now, fractions. Ew. Ugly. Hate fractions. What can I do to get rid of a fraction here?
Multiply all of them by 6.
Yeah, you can multiply all of this by 6, and you actually don't change the actual solution. Why? What's 6 times 0? 0. Still 0. Now, what's this? What's negative 1/6 times 6? That's negative d squared. Okay. And then 1/6 times 6 is, once again, negative 1d. And then 6 times 2 gives us 12. Good. Doesn't this look much nicer?
Yes.
But still not nice enough
Because of the
for me.
square.
Because of the square? No, I'm okay with the square.
Negative?
It's that negative I don't like.
Yeah, you can't have a negative.
You can have a negative in front, but it just makes more things more complicated. So what can we do to get rid of a negative then?
Factor out a negative?
You can factor a negative, or I'll say this. Why don't we multiply everything by negative 1 as well? Okay? Factoring out by negative 1 or multiplying by negative 1, it's okay. It's the same thing. What's 0 times negative 1? That's still 0. Now what happens is my negative d squared now becomes positive d squared. My negative d now becomes
D.
positive d. My positive 12 becomes negative 12.
So how did you just pulled out the negative t?
Oh,
I just
times
multiply by
1x.
negative 1. negative 1 times by negative 1. Right? So by times by negative 1, all the negative signs get reversed.
Okay.
Or it's like just taking out the negative. You're right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is much nicer. Can you start to factor this now? Okay, go ahead and try to factor, please. On your own, quietly. Think what two numbers multiply to negative 12. And those same two numbers add to 1.
That's very hard.
Yeah, well, you know one of them has to be negative, right? And one of them has to be positive.
Negative 4 and positive.
Negative 4 and positive 3?
No, negative 3 and positive 4.
Or is it negative 3 and positive 4?
Yes.
I think it's negative 3 and positive 4, right? Good.
Thank you.
And therefore, you're going to solve. Keep solving. Remember, you're solving. So d equals to 3. And also d equals to
Negative 4.
negative 4. Now, be careful. These are word problems. You don't want to look like a fool and say, oh, the distance you traveled must be 3 meters and negative 4. What? How do you travel negative 4 meters?
You go up the slide.
No, you go up the slide. No. So in this case, forget this answer, okay? It doesn't make sense. The negative answer here doesn't make sense. So don't quote it to me, okay? So therefore, if you want to answer the question, the horizontal distance is only 3 meters.
But is it ever gonna be? Is it ever gonna occur where
That's
it's
why we get
2 different answers?
You may, but once again, this one, how does a negative answer make sense to you, right? How can distance be negative? So, in this case, just one answer. The distance is just 3 meters. Okay?
that's why we have 2 zeros.
That's all you have to do. That's it. Okay? Okay, try number 4. Okay, we'll do a few more and then we'll stop for today, okay? So, we'll try number 4 now, please. Okay. Any of you play ping pong?
Not really.
Have you seen people play ping pong on TV? It's pretty
I
intense.
play ping pong, but I suck at it.
Okay, that's very good. You should learn. I think I used to know this person who was on like the Canadian national team. She was really good, but she was like really tiny. I was like, how do you reach up at the table? She could. And she was really good.
She could somehow.
She could somehow.
Mathematically.
No,
It's
she
a
probably
sport,
has to
man.
be very, very fast.
Yeah, she's
You have
very,
to
very
be
fast.
so agile.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Ping pong table. Draw a picture. Here's your ping pong table.
Make the line in the net.
Oh, please, you do that in your notes.
But it doesn't look like a ping pong table
It
then.
looks like a rectangle and it's confusing.
Yeah, Miss Shirley, you gotta.
It looks like a
You're right.
rectangular poo.
I don't know what time
There.
this has been eating.
There's your net. What else is in the ping pong table?
And the ball. Little tiny ball.
Angie, you know what? Calm down.
Okay, you got the idea, right?
Got it.
Here's the paddle.
Is that you, Mr. Lee?
I don't know.
Paddle is square. Is not
Here's
square.
paddle select square. There you go. Okay?
What the hell is that?
And then here's the ball. Here's the ball.
Label me and you, and I'm winning.
Okay, that's good enough.
Right in the person's face, Miss Shirley.
All right. Here's the question here. It says the area of the rectangular ping pong table is 45 feet squared. But notice it says the length of the table is 4 feet more than the width. So I think you're going to have to try to figure out the dimensions of the table, the length and the width. Well, once again, this here is the width, right? And over here is the length.
So you have X.
But then we don't know something, so we're going to have to call it something that we don't know. In math, we'll use the letter X, I think.
Does it really?
Yes, Isabel?
45x squared is equal to x plus 4 times x.
Yeah, so here's your X, right, for your width. And then Isabel says, hey, the length should be just X plus 4, because the length is 4 more than the width.
Mr. Lee.
And then, hold on, Isabel said, hey, let's look at the area. So area equals to length times width, was it, Isabel? Yeah, so area is 45. The length is X plus 4. The width is X. And pretty much you're pretty set to go.
Oh, it's easy.
Tanasia, what's your question?
It doesn't matter which one's which.
Doesn't matter, but most of the times people think the length is always the longer one and the width is always the shorter
You
one.
get the same answer. Anyway.
You get the same answer anyways in the end. Okay, go ahead and expand and simplify here. So x times x gives you x squared. 4 times x gives you 4x. And this equals to 45.
Minus 40.
Now I want you to solve this. And right now, when we're doing this section, we're solving quadratics by factoring. So may I suggest you move the 45 to the right-hand side. So now you get x squared plus 4x minus 45 equal to 0. And now, once again, go ahead and factor and solve. Okay? On your own, please.
Negative 5 and positive 9.
Negative 5 and positive 9. Okay, so when you solve, what do you get? X equals to positive 5 and negative 9. Now remember, x here stands for a length. I don't think your width can be negative 9. So therefore, x equals to 5. And what does that mean? That means that your width equals to 5. And this is 5 meters. What would your length then be?
9.
Yeah, 5 plus 4, which is 9. Does that make sense? If the width is 5 and the length is 9, does it equal to 45?
Yep.
Life is good.
We didn't have to do all that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Why not?
It's common
Because
sense.
if you look at it 45.
I know it's common sense, but you know what, Milena? I could be a nasty teacher, and on your test, I'll give you a number like 36.279. Go do some common sense now. Good luck.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know, for this one.
But I'm teaching you right now, so I'm trying to give you some nice numbers so you feel
No,
good.
I totally understand. It's
Okay.
just, after I got it, I was like,
All right, last page. Okay, 2 more things and we'll stop for today. Now, ladies and gentlemen,
Between 3.
one more thing I want to show you is this, okay? You know how all the other questions I've given you, I gave you the question, you find the answer, right? Well, in example number 5, I'm kind of switching it around. I give you the answer, or I give you the roots. Remember, roots are like the solutions. So I gave you the solutions. I want you to come up with the question. Ugh.
Oh, this is like physics.
No, it's not. It's much more fun.
No, this is like physics.
Okay,
cool, everything's more fun.
Look at
than
this.
physics history.
negative 2 is your answer. Can someone tell me what bracket would have given me the answer of x equals to negative 2? Yeah, so like what Tanasi always says, it's always the opposite sign. So x plus 2. What would be the bracket for the number 5 then? It would be x minus 5. And this equals to
New line.
0. Right.
Oh, seriously?
Seriously. So remember, just the opposite sign. Remember, opposite sign.
Wait, this is easier than I thought.
Okay.
So that's the answer?
Almost.
Well, then you
What I'd like you to do is just get rid of the brackets. So let's go ahead now and expand. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 5 is negative 5x. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. And once you've done this, look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
It's much prettier.
There's your answer. Okay?
That's a beauty.
And that's a beauty. Very good. Okay. Part B is even more beautiful because it's more complex. Complex things are beautiful.
I
No,
like
they
zero.
aren't.
Let's take a look at the next one here. Hey, if the answer is 0, what's the bracket going to be?
X minus 0.
Yeah, x minus 0.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
Okay, it's not x
I
plus
knew
0?
that.
It could be x plus 0 too. Does it matter? Plus or minus 0?
Can be cubed 0?
No.
Oh.
But plus or minus, that's fine. Okay, how about the next one? 1/5.
Plus 1.
X plus 1/5. Excellent. Now, let's see if we can simplify this before we actually go ahead and expand this out.
5x plus 1.
Yeah, we can do that first of all. Sure. The bottom's
It's equal
up.
to 0.
Okay, hold on. And then what's x minus 0 just equal to? Well, that's just x, right? X by itself.
How?
Well,
Oh yeah, I got it. Sorry.
Okay. So now we're almost set to expand this out. Actually, we are set to expand this out now. Just go ahead and expand.
5x squared.
5x squared plus x equals 0. And this is the quadratic that gives you those two answers.
Sweet.
Okay? All right, so I just wanted to throw it in. Going backwards is actually not too hard. Just understand it's always the opposite sign of the roots. Okay, last one. I'll let you think about and try this one, please, on your own, okay? Because I think I've taught you enough to try this. So go ahead now, take a look at this question. You might want to draw a picture, up to you. See if you can figure out the answer here, okay? Picture first. I know you don't like my pictures, but I want to draw a picture to show you what's going on, okay? Draw a picture. Here's me. I'm hitting a baseball. What happens with the baseball? It goes up in the air, and then what happens? It goes back down. Now, it says here, how long after being hit is the ball at a height of 25 meters? Maybe 25 meters is right here. I don't know. Okay, maybe 25 is right here.
Shut up.
Okay, so I'm asking you, how long after being hit is the ball at a height of 25 meters? Okay.
Do this in our calculator.
Now let's take a look. What's the height then? The height is 25. So I hope you wrote down this. 30t minus 5t squared. Okay? Then, because this is the factoring section, you're going to move the 25 to the side. And I'm just going to rearrange this. Okay, negative 5t squared plus 30t minus 25. Okay? Now, you could multiply by negative 1, but look, I see that each of these terms has a factor of negative 5. So I'm going to always ask you when you do this factoring to always factor out the greatest common factor first before doing any of that trinomial factoring. So if you take out the negative 5, you'll get t squared minus 6t plus 5. And I know many of you got this, and you decided to solve, and you solved to get, what, t minus 1, t minus 5? Yes or no?
What? Where'd you get that?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, wait, yeah, I got that.
Okay. So therefore, I have here t equals to 1 and t equals to 5. So how long after being hit? Well, I guess this point here must be 1 second. And of course, it goes up in the air, and it comes back down. So at this point in time, how many seconds is it?
Mr. Lee?
5 seconds.
How did... Oh.
Okay.
In between.
So how long after being hit is the ball at a height of 15? I'll say it's at a height of 15 after 1 second. Okay. So I'll say this. Okay. It is at a height. It is at a height of 25 meters. Okay. After 1 second.
And 5 seconds.
Okay. No. And I'll say, and it continues to be above 25 meters until how many seconds?
I'm not very good at English, so I'm not gonna be writing down. That's
Until 5 seconds. Don't be lazy, Tanasia. Okay? Please don't be lazy. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now I think I've given you enough so that you can work on the homework, which is right here. Okay, so it looks like a lot, but it's not too much. Remember, tomorrow you've got collab, so you can work on it during collab time in your tutorials or go to your library. Make sure you work on these questions. And then next day, by the way, when you